Hi guys, now that we have to mostly work from home due to the pandemic, I've been working on the sketchbook to do some of my online lessons for my students. And then I started to decorate the cover, and then I just realized that I haven't really covered this part about decorating the cover. So I started with the two letters, and then I decided, you know what, I'll just film the rest of the process of this and kind of go through it with you guys and talk about it. So if you're any of my students who have received a sketchbook from me at the school campus, then one of the first things you should do is probably decorate the cover. And what I've looked at in doing cover art is I kind of base it on street art. So obviously you should have all the things that, to do this, which is first the sketchbook itself. I like to use a mechanical pencil. You always need a pencil. I like to use mechanical pencils because it saves from having to sharpen them and things like that. But of course, if you press too hard, then the lead is very brittle and will break. Another thing that you should have is an eraser, just in case you make mistakes. For the cover, I'm gonna do it in street art style, and so normally in classes I would give you an image or for you to reference. But here at home, you have the option of using like maybe a mobile device, like a tablet or a phone. And here I've put in there searching for street art letters, and you know how some letters formed. Obviously, I'm not. I mean, art is very, it's very liberal. It's free, so you can kind of do what you want to do. But it's always nice to have some ideas next to you to look at, to reference, everything like that. Because as an artist, you should encourage copying, imitation. You should copy other people's styles or techniques and stuff like that, and then you put your own twist into it that represents your own take on it, your personality, your expression. So these are some cool. I kind of like this one, so I'm just gonna leave that one there. So I'm just gonna start, and the word that I was actually trying to make out here is I was going to make the word ARTime, which is kind of like, my title and stuff like that. So using a pencil. Now normally I wouldn't have to sketch. I would always recommending you not sketching using a pencil so dark, like just lightly use it. But for it to show up better on the camera, I'm just gonna make it dark. So this is kind of like how I like to do art time. Let's see, how did they do the T here? Ooh, overly fancy. But let me try put my own take on it. I do like that. Kind of reminds me of Nightcrawler's tail. Okay. Not sure where I'm going to go with this. Expand this one a little bit more. So street art is quite good when you want to do like bold words, art words, word art. Kind of like a Pac-Man with the mohawk. Okay. So I always start off with a pencil sketch, and then you can incorporate anything that you like in there. I think my kids know I'm a big fan of one particular superhero that actually has no superpower. So let me see how I can incorporate him in here. twist on it. Alright, so I'm just kind of doing an outline that goes around it. Do it very lightly. Okay, so decorate your cover with a word you like, a phrase, or your name, which also works. So after you've done the pencil line, then it's good to now start to ink it. So I'm just use a permanent marker like this, and all you need to do is just go over your letters. It's really thick. I could use a more fine pen if I wanted more details, but I'm just going to try to do this really quickly. Okay, so now that I finished inking it, I can put my marker away, and I can take an eraser and erase the pencil lines. And it'll also show me anything that I've missed. Okay, from this point on, you can also do a little bit more inking. So if we looked back at the images of some of the street art, see how they have the bold letters and everything. So you could do the same thing, a bit more of an outline. So I do like that, so I'm gonna copy that. So let's see here. So try to keep it going in the same direction. If I started on the right side with the shadow, try to do all the letters the same way. But of course, it's up to you. What makes you feel good about it when you do it? How does it look to you? Because ultimately, it is your sketchbook. It's your artwork. So they also do kind of another outline around the shade, kind of like that too. So just kind of going around it again. Cool. Just adds more dimension to your letters. More marks. It's okay if things cross over. I'm pretty happy with that. I think I might do something more with the symbol here. You know, I mean, kind of do things as you feel. I mean, the symbol could probably just go very dark. Now this is kind of a challenge for me because I'm trying to keep the sketchbook stable or stationary as I ink it or I draw on it, so that the camera just catches it in the same spot. But normally when I'm working on artwork, I turn them, I flip them, I rotate them, just to get a very comfortable or different perspective on whatever I'm working on at that moment. Kind of just like making these little streaks where the points are, little marks here, to give it kind of a different texture. Never drawn. It's like something's growing from each point. Alright, I think so. Now I've finished the pencil. I've done take my eraser one more time to it. I've done the penciling. Now I've done the inking as well, the outlining. These are usually the stages I recommend when you're doing any kind of artwork, drawing, illustration. Okay. Okay, so now we're going to go into coloring it. So you can color or design it any way you want. Let's have a look at some ideas here. Street art letters. Now let's just do street art. And so we've got some ideas. Oh, I love this one right here. That's great. Fake. Huh. That's beautiful. I should save that one later. Okay, so a lot of things come up by Banksy, one of the very infamous street artists out there. Let's see, kind of like that. So you can see this is what street art is like. What it's all about. Check that out. I'm sure that's just computer graphics. That's not real. Okay, so. So I'm going to color it now, and you can do it any way you want. You can make it solid colors, you can make it two-tone. I'm going to do different ways just to kind of give you guys an idea. So let's say I'm going to color this letter, but I think these are going to be really dark. You could use markers, or you could use color pencils or crayons. I think I'm going to go ahead and use crayons just because I have a bigger range of being able to make gradients, like blending the colors in and stuff like that. So I'm going to start off with my favorite color is blue. So let's start off with blue. Oh, look at that! It's already kind of made a mess. It's okay. So crayons work great because you can control the level of your pressure that you put down on it. You can go very hard, very solid. And then these seem to be really flaky for some reason. So go lighter as it gets to the bottom side. Okay, not too okay. So let's switch colors. the texture of the sketchbook. I'm using the texture of the sketchbook to give it that kind of grainy feel to it. Okay, I'm pretty happy with that. Let's use a color I haven't used to kind of go around it. It gives it a nice glow to it. Now, of course, the colors, crayons, stuff like that, they can start to mix into each other. So you can be careful with that, or you could let it happen and see what happens. Enjoy the process. Now you can also put patterns and designs in there, like dots, lines, anything that you want. Okay, I might actually do that to the outline a little bit more here, so I'm just gonna, one more. Let's go around the bat. You can see there's kind of, when I threw the crayons on top of the sketchbook, it kind of, the crayon flakes kind of got everywhere, but I actually kind of like it. It's like splash art, so I'm just going to leave them there, and actually they've inspired me to do something similar on purpose. So sometimes accidents or mistakes when you're doing art is okay. You just find a solution. What can you do to make it better? How can you fix it? Okay. Don't let just something that wasn't intentional plan, a mark that you didn't intend to have, ruin the whole process for you. You've already gone this far. See what else you can do with it. And sometimes maybe it was supposed to be. So don't think too much about it. Just enjoy what you're doing and have fun with it. I like this. This is really good. Okay, I'm quite happy with that. No, so okay. So yeah, look at that. It's created all this weird thing, but I actually like it to the point that I think I'm see if I can intentionally create it. I like that splashy background, so I'm gonna put those back on there. These colors. Let's see if I can make that unintentional. So this is experimenting. So what was a mistake turned into a good thing. That looks cool. Just basically I've grabbed all of them and I'm just like dropping them on there. I'm not hitting the bat area, I'm trying to save that for something else. So even so some of it's stuck, I'll just use my fingers. Kind of move them around, make them streak. That's cool. And then the stuff that I don't want to, then I would pick up the sketchbook, kind of just shake it, pop that part off. Okay, so as you can see in this little bat symbol here, I'm gonna move my phone. So I want a kind of a yellow color, but I wanted to do a little bit more with the black to kind of give it a gray. Now I could use a gray crayon, but I'm gonna move away from the crayon medium and use something else. Now I know that a lot of times, as you know, when you're using any type of markers or pen, the more you use it, the more it starts to wear out. And so like I did this with the outline, but I have another one and I've marked it with an X here. This marker is actually dying, and I actually don't believe that you need to throw it right away until it's completely useless, that there's no more. So even though this is marked as a dying marker, but I can use it like this, and I can still get a little bit until its final days, I can still get a kind of a gray. As you can, I don't know if you can see that. You should be able to, but it's kind of like where when you're using a pencil or anything that if you press down on it, you can control the tone of it, the value of it. But in this case, this marker's already dying, so it's giving me a lower value of the black. So it's almost over here. So I get a kind of gray to it. And so it's okay to still keep your markers until its final days because it's always still useful. So I think that's all I'm going to be able to squeeze out of it, and I'm okay, so I'm going to stop there. I wanted to do the rest of this. I wanted the bat symbol to kind of pop out. So what I'm going to use here is I want to use color pencil, and because the color pencil, if you press down really hard on it, and as you can see, it can really pop out. But my lead is broken, so I'm going to have to sharpen that. Get another yellow color pencil here, right? So, okay. So here he is. You can see, and the thing with using color pencil is you even have more control with how much pressure you put on it, because it's just easier to hold. And the thing here is that as I go over some black lines with the color pencil, it starts to make that line, it's now got a yellow on top of it, so it's kind of changed the value of that line. It's no longer black. In that case, you can go over it again with the marker at the end. So let's mix this together. And I like using the side because the side just allows me to cover more area so much faster. But it also really shortens the pencil lead, the color pencil lead, which is what's supposed to happen anyway, so it's fine. Let's see if I can finish this without having to sharpen the pencil lead. So I'm gonna try to do the same thing, kind of make it a gradient, lighter at the bottom, darker at the top. I always work with, especially when you're using pencils and color pencils, make sure that it's always sharp. You have better control when the tip is sharp. I'm not sharpening this one, I'm sharpening by using its side, but because I'm almost finished here. Okay. Alright. I think I'm pretty much done with this. And then the only thing I have to do now is, remember when I said that the yellow went over the black lines, kind of faded, then you get your good marker. If you want to, you can recreate those lines again by going over it, and it pops out the black again. And it works best when you're using, like this is a permanent pen, so a permanent marker here. Permanent markers tend to, are strong enough to write over any color, most colors, even oil-based colors. So here I'm just going back over the lines that I think should be nice and dark. I'm kind of missing the lines, but it doesn't matter. I'm okay with that. Kind of gives another cool effect. And that's it. Now, I always recommend that you always sign your work, especially on the front, not on the back, because if you stick it on the refrigerator or on the wall, you won't be able to see it. So just sign it anywhere you want. Choose a small corner. Now, for me, I do have a specific logo that somebody says looks like a typhoon symbol, and it kind of does. So this is when you see this particular symbol, that's my signature. obviously this marker is too thick, so I'm gonna go in. Once you sign it using your name, then you can put in the date. Okay, and that's it. So I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, experiment, have fun with it. If you've already decorated your cover of your sketchbook, it's also fine. Just turn to the new page and do it. So just more practice with it. Just have fun with it. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed it. Catch you guys next time.